Hi, it's Heather with another installment of R-Rated Reviews. And this one's more of it's a review, definitely a review. But I think I'm gonna open the gate on the debate. So somebody previously mentioned when I was talking about my tuna fish, the Wegmans tuna fish, not my Woodfill. And I was talking about Hellmann's mayonnaise. There were some comments about Duke's and that it's not available here, but I should try it because everyone who tries it doesn't go back. And so we do have it here. In fact, now that I've seen it in all the stores. And there were a few people outside of YouTube that were like, oh no, really? You're going to love it. You should try it. I never went back. So I was like, whatever. Okay. I don't like doing that type of stuff because if I wind up liking it, then I'm like, I don't like change. But I bought a jar. And it's freezing here. It is freezing. Only in central New York can you have 85 degrees during the day and 47 at night. I want to put a fire in the wood stove. So I was going to make a half a can of tuna of each. But I'm like, fuck it. I'll make 1 can each with each mayonnaise, Hellmann's and Duke's. But before I do, I did a thing. I did install one of the fixtures in the bathroom myself because I wish I could tell you the story about the shit that I found out tonight, but that's not what this is about. So I'm not going to rag on people, but I will not be dating anybody that does wiring for a living, at least not at this juncture. I hung a fixture. I hung that one. I'm going to have to spackle parts of the ceiling. And it was not easy to do, but I turned the breaker back on. So before I start making tuna fish, I want to see if the light works. I'm going to have you guys do this with me because if it doesn't work, I'm going to be so heartbroken and disappointed. But if it does work, I want to witness. I can eat it if it doesn't work, but if it does, I'll be like, yay. Okay, so the breaker's on. Please. Oh. How you like meow? Oh, yay. And the glow is that's just this chandelier bulb. I'm going to put something different in there. I'm going to make that one copper. Oh, and Anne, if you're watching, I've been doing the patina with the spray paint like you suggested. And that was silver. The other half of it's in the kitchen. I'm starting to spray paint in the house like I used to at TJ's, and it drove him nuts. But at least this time I'm being smart about it. Semi. This bird was left behind by the other people. That's going to take a few coats. It was black, but it's all chipped. But here is the bottom of that, it was a little silver tin that I got. Look at that. So I guess, Anne, if my copper pendants don't come out the way they're supposed to, I may, after all, take your suggestion and spray paint them. But check this one out. I think it came out pretty cool. I mean, it's not exactly what I wanted, but I like it. Now let's get down to business. Mayo business. Now, I already know which one I like better, but I'm going to go over it with you and show it to you so you guys can either try it yourself. You can see what the differences are in the two. So I'm going to get another can of tuna out. And let me get the mayonnaise. Oh, I gotta put some bread. I have to put a couple slices of bread in the toaster. Okay, so I am someone who likes to know somewhat interesting but useful trivia type information. So when I hear something that I find intriguing or interesting that's sort of out of the norm, I tend to just not ever forget it. And I had read something like 30 years ago that mayonnaise doesn't go bad. And that if you have a dish of it out on a table for like a picnic or something, and you leave it out for people to help themselves, and it's been in the sun all day, and it turns yellow, it's fine that it doesn't go bad because it just doesn't. And the yellowing is just the discoloration from the sun. But if you stir it, it turns white again. But I wanted to verify that before I said it and sounded stupid. And of course, the AI generated and all the the health websites pop up and say, oh, it's terrible. It's, once you open a jar, you can only keep it in your refrigerator for 2 months. It was like, okay. So anyway, I dug a little deeper. I scrolled further, and I found on Quora, there was a guy who's got like 10.6 thousand followers, and he's had 60 million views on his answers. It's like, I want to say, is he an entomologist or something like that? But he's published author and all this stuff. And he said exactly what it was that I had heard years ago with a tiny variation at the end of it. And then I remembered, I just didn't remember the whole thing correctly. It is true. Mayonnaise is an emulsion. It's primarily oil, and bacteria doesn't grow in oil. The remaining ingredients is a very small amount of eggs, salt, and vinegar, acid. So the degree of salt and acidity is not an environment that is hospitable for bacteria to grow, even on the little miniature egg portion. And because it's an emulsion, it doesn't. So it can turn yellow in the sun because it's an emulsion. It doesn't grow bacteria. Because I did not know that bacteria does not grow in oil. But that was pretty interesting. He did say, I was thinking like pasta salads and stuff. And then I recalled that it was the jar of mayonnaise, like a dish of mayonnaise for sandwiches and stuff with nothing else in it. Because he did say that what will contaminate mayonnaise, I'm trying to get rid of that glare. What will contaminate mayonnaise is if you drop a little tiny remnant of tuna in the jar, or if you contaminate your knife and stick it back in the jar. That is what will actually, in fact, cause bacteria to grow. And you can actually just scoop that out if you wanted to. Pasta salad or anything that has mayonnaise in it. It's not that the mayonnaise is going bad. It's that the food that's mixed with it is a breeding ground for bacteria. So, my toast is done. And the reason for me sharing this useless tidbit of trivia information is because the first thing I noticed when I purchased Duke's, or when I saw it in the store, is that it already has a yellowish color to it. So I have the two here. Here's the Hellmann's, and here is Duke's. And it says, it's got twang. Now, I'm not really quite sure what twang is, because I always thought twang was like someone who was Southern that had like a in their accent or voice. Maybe they meant zing, but it says, I thought I saw some, oh yeah, Duke's. It's got twang. Price-wise, I did compare it. I think they're exactly the same price. I don't know where you are, but by here, it's $4.99 for a 30 ounce, and the same thing for the Hellmann's. It doesn't look overly yellow in the jar, and it almost looks the same when you put them next to each other. It's when you open the jar and put it on some bread or a knife that you can see the Hellmann's is much more white, and the Duke's has a yellow tint to it. And only because of that tint was the reason for me going back and being like, yellow mayonnaise. But I digress. That was the whole point of what struck me to remember that mayonnaise doesn't go bad. So I'm going to open the first can. I'm going to make one can with Duke's. I'm going to go over its consistency, the similarities, the differences, and then I'm going to make tuna with each of them, and I'm going to sample them. There's one. Now, I've actually used the Duke's, I would say 2 or 3 times, probably a little more than 2 or 3 times, on burgers and sandwiches. But I think for me, the real test is in the tuna fish. I already know the differences in sandwiches and burgers. So, this is Hellmann's. I put that on top of the jar. Oh, shit. On top of the jar. Oops. Or not. It fell in. I'm going to get a little dish. We use my little bread dipping bowls. All right. So here is your Hellmann's. And what I'll do is I'll actually fill the dish, and I'll use this mayonnaise to make the tuna fish. Okay. And then get a different knife. Use a clean knife for the Duke's. And this is the Duke's mayonnaise and consistency. It was a little shaky. Hang on. It's and then when I have it out of the jar, I'll see if you can see the difference in the color. It's slight. So, Duke's, I don't want to say it's creamier because they're both creamy. I feel like the Duke's mayonnaise it's not watery, but it's thinner. It's definitely thinner. Where Hellmann's is more globby. And it's kind of like, you get it on there, it's not going anywhere. I don't know what Duke's will do if I do that. Yeah. So it's almost, I don't want to say buttery, but it reminds me of buttery because of it's like a little bit of a yellow hue to it. Taste-wise, they're very, very similar. Very similar. I don't really notice a huge difference in the taste to the point where people were like, oh, when you try Duke's, it's going to be you're going to love it so much that you just won't ever go back to Hellmann's. I haven't had Hellmann's since I started trying the Duke's, so it'll be interesting what happens with the tuna fish. All right, I couldn't lower it, so I put it on the floor and raised it up. So I want you to be able to see I'm mixing it. So this is the Hellmann's. I'm going to put that one in here. I need a fork. So, right off the bat, I'll tell you my first opinion was, I don't like it any more than Hellmann's. I don't dislike it. I think it's delicious, but I just think mayonnaise is delicious. But I didn't think that it was any better than Hellmann's. And at first I thought it was more expensive. And I don't know if I just wasn't impressed as much as everyone thought I would be because it was built up so much. Look at that Wegmans tuna. I don't know if it was just built up too much and that kind of anticipation was going to be a disappointment and a letdown no matter what, because I was expecting to half love this so much that I was going to cry because I would be deserting my Hellmann's, but I didn't want to be influenced. It is tasty and I do enjoy it, but I don't see how you would just completely desert Hellmann's. The difference is not that significant. And I thought it was more expensive, so I was like, well, it's not worth the difference in the price. But when I looked up the price, I'm like, oh, I guess it's the same. So there's my Hellmann's. And now I want you to see, I didn't really even need a fork. I mean, it's a little runny. It's like runnier. And I don't know if it's because they have something in it that gives it twang, but I mean, it's really smooth, almost like, I don't want to say gelatinous because it makes it sound disgusting, but I like my thick, chunky Hellmann's. I don't want smooth, runny mayonnaise because it reminds me of mayonnaise that has been sitting out all day. Okay, so that is all mixed up. Get these out of the way. And I do like it. It's tasty. And depending on what happens with this, you know what? You know what it is? I know what it is. And I'm probably going to ruin this with some people out there. It reminds me of jizz. Like, not in particular specifically, but there's like a resemblance with oh my gosh, that's what it is. I couldn't put my finger on it. There's something I wanted to do to taste test it. I don't know if I can anymore after I just fucking said that. I can with the Hellmann's. I'm going to taste it plain. Oh my gosh. I love Hellmann's mayonnaise. I love Hellmann's mayonnaise. Now that I called it that, I don't want. They're so similar. They really are so similar. I mean, this one may have a little tiny bit. I don't know if it's acid. It's like it's a little tiny bit more acidic, and maybe that's that twang they're talking about. Maybe there is a special sauce in it, and that's the twang. I'm gonna ruin it for anyone who eats this stuff. I just don't see the difference. If it was a taste test, a blind taste test, I could pick out the Hellmann's, but to me there's virtually almost no difference. So I'm gonna make a half a sandwich of each, and then I'm gonna take a bite, and then I'm gonna eat a spoonful, forkful of the tuna fish plain. Get this one. This one is the Hellmann's is just whiter. It's just, I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It's just whiter. I'm so happy that my fixture works. Now that I hooked it up. The electrician comes back and be like, you didn't get it done. I was helping you out. I thought maybe you could use some help. Talk to me like I'm fucking stupid. I'll do your job for you. Okay. Now, let's see. This is Duke's. It's good. Oh, the wire. Okay. I don't get the twang. Hellmann. Oh. Maybe it's the familiarity of it. The comforts of home. I don't know. I like the Hellmann's better. I like Duke's. I will finish the jar. If it was ever on sale and cheaper than Hellmann's, I might buy it as a backup. Because there are times where I can't get the Hellmann's that I want, and I get pissed. I would use it as a backup, but there's no way I can appreciate why two different people said to me, like here, not on the channel, you got to try Duke's. You'll love it. You'll never go back. It's just, the Hellmann's just, I'll try to. It's good. It's good. They're almost the same. I don't know. The difference in the flavor is so subtle to a degree, but then when you get the Hellmann's in your mouth, you know it's Hellmann's. And what was I gonna say? I don't know. Hellmann's. I think I like my mayonnaise thicker, chunkier, not like runny, not like jizz. The Duke's mayonnaise reminds me more of the consistency of Hellmann's Light, which I used for years. And then when I switched back to regular mayonnaise, I was like, holy fuck, I've been missing this all these years. Do a plain one. That is so fucking good. That's good too. They're both good. My preference is Hellmann's. Just because of the color, the consistency. Maybe I don't like twang. That's it. It's Hellmann's for me. Bring out Hellmann's. Bring out the best. Questions or comments? Don't even bother. I don't want to hear it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Have a great night.